Where are 1% of American adults?
Oh, I imagine we could find out, couldn't we? We could use Google Earth, because some of them are quite big. There's one. He's got his own postcode.
1% of the population, which is... What's the population? It's about
300 million, isn't it?
So you're talking about between 2.5 and 3 million, say?
Jail.
Yes. G for jail. English spelling of jail, of course, but it is G for jail.
Really? That many people? 3 million people are locked up?
Well, 2.3, which is 1 in every 99.1 adults.
All of those guys there are innocent as well, because they all were arrested for having switchblades, but they've all only got one arm.
Well spotted. Proportionally, Americans are prison more than twice as many as South Africans, more than 3 times as many as the Iranians, more than 6 times as many as the Chinese. No society in history has imprisoned more of its citizens than the United States of America.
We do pretty well, though, don't we? We sort of top the European League.
We're ahead of China, Turkey and India.
Yes.
Yeah, with 148 prisoners per 100,000.
It's the 3 strikes and they're out.
That's been really the problem, yeah.
I mean, a legal system based on baseball just seems bizarre.
Yes.
People don't seem to understand the law. It's all very complicated. What's simple? What do people like? Baseball. Right then. Here's the rule.
3 strikes and you're out, yeah.
Mental.
What it means is if the first 2 strikes, the first 2 crimes you're convicted of are serious enough, the third one, no matter how trivial, will get a life sentence, 25 years or more. So, for example, Leandro Andrade is serving 2 consecutive 25-year terms for shoplifting 9 videotapes. Or...
He took 9?
Yes. Kevin Webber, 26 years for stealing 4 chocolate chip cookies. It's astonishing.
Well, it's really stupid, isn't it? Because if you know you're on this sort of deal...
Yes. Yeah.
Take 5.
Yes,
yes. That is
the idea. Do another murder. Do a bank job. There's no point...
There's no point doing anything trivial.
If you're going to get caught.
It is a bit bonkers. But the racial numbers are a bit worrying. And the gender numbers, it's 1 in 30 men aged 20 to 34 is behind bars. But for black males, that's 1 in 9. 1 in 9. There are more 17-year-old black people in jail than in college in America. So 5% of the world are American, 25% of all prisoners
Isn't the real controversy with this the business end of it?
Well, that's true. It's also, as you say, right, it is a business.
Because it's not just licence plate, they make loads of stuff.
Well, one of the things I should have said when talking about contraband is that you're not allowed to bring into America anything that's been made by forced labour or prisons. But in America, you can almost say, if you were so minded, that they've reinvented the slave trade. They produce, for example, 100% of all military helmets, ammunition belts, bulletproof vests, ID tags and other items in uniform, 93% of domestically produced paints, 36% of home appliances, 21% of office furniture, which allows the United States to compete with factories in Mexico because, of course, obviously the workers can't refuse to work for 25 cents an hour.
I'd very much like to say something hilarious, but something must be done.
It is.
It feels a bit more question-timey this evening.
It is a bit amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's extraordinary. Yeah. It's slavery by the back door.
Exactly, wasn't it?
Which is another video that I've got. Why
did it take 300 years to give the giant tortoise a scientific name?
A scientific name?
Yeah, i.e. the Latin name. It turned out to be called Geochelonia, you know.
Is it because they just thought that was pretty good, giant tortoise?
We'll leave it with that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah?
No, I was going to say something about which now is unusable. I'm going to have to say it now.
Go on, go with it, man.
They thought...
It's better be good.
They thought it was a normal tortoise, but closer, was what I was going to say. You see what I mean? But I couldn't get that concept. It's like, would it be actually further away? And then the normal one further away would be actually a minute one. Would they mistake a quite far away normal one for a miniaturised one that's a bit ordinary?
Yeah, but the thing that you're saying is that the tortoise could be...
It's a certain way. If they said...
I like it. Oh, go that way.
Yeah. If there was like a tortoise over there that was giant, but I, for some reason, thought it was just there, then I wouldn't think it was giant. I'd think it was just, oh, there's just one there. It was just a normal tortoise there, nothing about that. Oh, my God, it's over there and it's back!
It would have to be on a huge beach with no other points of reference.
Well, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Are they...
That's not the reason.
Are they particularly litigious? If you... name, I will sue you.
No, it wasn't that. It's a nice thought again. No, they had another property which was most unfortunate for them to have.
What the tortoises did?
Yeah.
They were edible.
They were so edible. Anyone, I mean...
Anyone who saw one couldn't stop
Yes.
to think of a name for it. They just had to eat it
The
straight
point-
away.
Really one of those...
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
Do you know,
Just get one. They're really very good.
there's no
We just call
Latin
them
name for the
dinner.
pistachio nut. Exactly the same way. No one can be bothered. Just shut up with your Latin. Eat them. They're brilliant.
That's what happened.
No Latin name for Maltesers.
None of them made it. It's kind of true. None of them made it to London. None of them made it to Europe.
Now this time, we're going to take it and we'll
They
take
had-
London and
Tuck
study
it.
it.
Leave it. No.
However,
I'm taking it back. People getting up in the...
Ferry coming into Dover, there's a bloke going... leaving the door where the tortoises stay.
take 9 of them, we'll eat 8.
And everyone's looking at it and going, come on.
The seas become... The days on end, the seas become... There's one tortoise left.
Yeah.
You know.
Can you
Come on,
imagine?
sir. Come on, we'll go back. Let's just go back and get some more.
Imagine the moment after they've eaten that last quarter. They're sitting there thinking, we are twats.
Even on,
I'm too full.
even Darwin, on Darwin's last there were dozens. There were
He
dozens.
collected
of-
every species in the world and
Yeah.
ate that one.
They had them all. They did.
Well,
I
I've
mean,
done
it
all
was-
those, done all the butterflies,
They-
done all the beetles. I'm eating that.
The only descriptions of them are comparing them to chicken, beef, mutton and butter and saying they're how much better they are than all of those things. No one who'd ever eaten tortoise had ever eaten anything better.
Why are
They
they not
and the
farmed?
liver and the bone marrow, every part of it was unbelievably
Whereabouts
delicious.
are they from?
Well, from the tropics
Are
mostly.
there flights over there?
Let's open
They
it
are
right now.
now protected. All 12
If they're
species.
that delicious, they can't be. Well, they just say, yeah, we've protected them. They're all in there. No need to look.
Yeah,
they're fine.
There's a border around them, like North Korea.
Yeah. There's a big pile of shells, like those piles of tyres you see in a scrapyard.
But yeah, there were some that survived, however, and let me tell you about a very extraordinary
That
one.
bloke there, he's just befriending that one. Yeah, come over here, my pretty. I'm trying to think of a name for you.
But they are amazing animals, apart from how delicious they are. Adwaita died in 2006, and he was Clive of India's pet. There he is.
Oh, they're 200 years old or something.
255. He was born before Mozart, before the French Revolution, and his death was announced on CNN. I mean, that's a heck of a life,
And
isn't
you
it?
can list his achievements on the back of a stamp.
Well, why would he need to
Well, his
achieve
principal
anything?
achievement is it
He
wasn't
lived 255 years. People think probably the oldest living creature because they don't live so long out of captivity like most animals, and he was, you know, well cared for. But that is a pretty astonishing
It is quite...
lifespan.
So it lived 255 years and is massive. I mean, I've achieved 50% of that. That's great.
There are 12 species of them, all of them endangered. Well,
They
one.
all taste nice.
Well, I don't know, but it's very sad that they so many were other species were, you know, basically wiped out just because they were so lovely. Not only that, they were also used as water stores. It sounds a weird thing, but they have a special kind of internal bladder that stores water so perfectly that it's drinkable. When you slit them open to cook them, you also get, you know, like a gallon of fresh water.
Wow.
So they would stack them up on boats, tons of them. They'd be stacked up one on the other, and they couldn't move. And they didn't need to be fed for months, so that they actually contributed a lot to whaling and other things because they were used as a foodstuff and a water supply that was just kind of permanent.
So you've got the
on board.
water as well. And imagine if you smash the shell open, there's like a little toy in there, like a Kinder. Like a little game, you've got to get the balls in the holes.
So how do they exist in the wild anyway, if they're so delicious and slow-moving and massive and useful?
They didn't have any natural predators until man discovered them, basically.
Right. So they were evolutionarily complacent.
They were exactly like a lot of island species. They're a lot like that. And it's only man who crosses islands in the way we do
Like all those
who does it.
ridiculous flightless birds on New Zealand.
Yeah.
Essentially, they got lazy.
Yeah.
They got lazy. What's the point in flying? Now, some of them go, we'll need it one day. I bet we'll need it one day. Nah. You're too anal, you are. Just walk around, it's easier.
Yeah. Anyway, despite being discovered in 1535, giant tortoises weren't properly catalogued by science until the early 19th century because they were so delicious that no samples ever made it back home. What would you call someone who never laughs?
That bloke.
Yeah, right. He hasn't cracked a smile all evening, has he? No.
He might be dead. Nudge him.
Yeah.
Are we looking for a sort of phobia word?
Yeah, agelastic, meaning that they don't laugh. And there are people who don't have it, who, it seems, have no sense of humour.
Can't laugh.
Well, who knows? I mean, there's a sort of epilepsy where you... a lot, which is an unusual affect.
Shock, that was shocking.
It's giving you a shock.
I've got an interesting sort of Greek-type word for something that I do sometimes where I can't help the sort of urge to do an impression of somebody. And sometimes if somebody's got like a limp or a bit of a funny walk, I kind of want to go along with it, which is a terrible thing to do. And apparently, when you do this thing of wanting to take on somebody's limp in an inappropriate way, it's called echopraxia.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
if you do it with words, with trying to imitate a person sort of verbally, it's echolalia. That's great,
very
isn't it?
points.
Yes.
Points.
Great.
Brilliant.
It's also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's called taking the piss as well.
Yeah.
Well, it almost defines being a human, doesn't it, laughter? Because animals don't laugh.
Yeah.
They don't have that capacity to sort of put the two things together.
Very,
and
very
be-
social as well. It's a very social sort
Yes.
of... People tend not to laugh on their own. Like, even watching a show as hilarious as this.
Yes.
At home on your own, you won't laugh in the same way as the studio
No.
audience. It's why people often think it's sort of canned laughter rather than you are genuinely laughing at bits.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't if there were anybody here, but...
Yeah.
Because there's that sort it's a very social thing. You're sort of
Yes, you're
showing
right.
someone else that you get the
Yeah.
thing and you understand.
Absolutely, it is a communal thing. There are people in history who are said to be age-elastic, including Isaac Newton, who was supposed to have laughed once in his life. When someone asked
When
him
an apple
what...
fell on his head.
No. Someone asked him what was the point of studying Euclid, and he burst out laughing at that.
Yeah, no, that is a good one, though.
That is a good one.
What is he like?
According to Marshal Zhukov, Stalin, next door, he didn't laugh. And
I'm
next
amazed
to,
at that. He seems such a chirpy cat.
and then
can't tell behind his
you've probably
moustache, he could be
spotted
chuckling.
Jonathan Swift and William Ewart Gladstone.
Jonathan Swift, a very funny writer, so...
I know,
Lots
it's
of
bizarre thought.
comedians don't laugh.
Spinoza.
You know, lots of comedians are quite miserable in real life, aren't they? Not us, obviously.
The bloke on the left and the bloke on the middle are the same.
On the left, he's been on a diet. Or
That's an advert for the Chin Gym.
yeah.
The one on the left is Isaac Newton,
That's Newton, right?
and the one in the middle is Jonathan Swift. Trollope, on the other hand, Anthony Trollope...
Couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, he died giggling, apparently. He laughed a lot.
Didn't he work in the post office? That's probably what
He
it is.
did.
He went postal. He was...
Yeah, he invented the postbox
yes.
and lived to regret it, actually.
Because once he was in, he couldn't get out.
He was sorry for a very odd reason, actually. He was very old-fashioned about what women should and shouldn't do. And what he hadn't predicted was what the post office would suddenly allow women to communicate with anyone freely. Because before the postbox, they would have to go to their father or a servant who would put the stamp on, and it would be taken. And suddenly they were able to send their own letters and have relationships without their parents' consent. And he resented this.
What has he done?
It is a law of unintended
consequences,
consequences, exactly. Bizarre thought. Anyway,
Good
quite
old
irrelevant.
Trollope.
There are theories of laughter. There's the superiority theory, which is the sudden glory we feel when we see someone suffer.
It's very
That's a
simple, the
crazy game.
superiority theory, but a lot of people don't understand it.
Very good. There's the incongruity theory. It arises when the decorous and logical abruptly dissolves into the low and absurd. We wouldn't farting well want that. For example. Not that I would say that. The relief theory, which is Freud. The naughtiness of the joke liberates the laughter from inhibitions about forbidden thoughts and feelings.
That's watching Jackass for me, I do.
Yeah. You've written a book about it. What was The Naked Jape?
The Naked Jape. I wrote a book with my friend Lucy about jokes. And the nature of jokes.
Did you come to a theory about...
No, I mean, they are all... You can analyse... There's all these different sort of theories from around the world, and they're all pretty much nonsense.
Yeah.
They all work in exactly the same way, though. All jokes are sort of two stories. So the first story makes you make an assumption, and then the second story makes you
Subverts it,
realise
yeah.
that the assumption was...
I like the one that
erroneous.
the Englishman, a Scotsman and an Irishman go into a pub and the barman says, what is this, some kind of joke? A sort of a meta joke.
Yeah. When I told them I wanted to be a comedian, they laughed. Well, they're not laughing now.
That is...
It's Monkhouse.
Bob Monkhouse, yeah. That's a brilliant
But it's hard when you're writing about comedy to make it funny as well. Were you trying to be funny as you went along,
Well,
or did you just...
in the end, we just had to put a joke on every page, because some of it's a bit sort of more complicated. And there's a great quote about analysing jokes is like dissecting a frog. No one's that interested, and the frog dies.
Yes. Pulling up the roots of a plant to look how it works.
Yeah, and killing it as you do it, exactly. Anyway, agilists are people who don't laugh at gags. Now, which popular game traditionally ends with all the players being thrown into a lake of fiery sulphur?
Well, I hope it's show jumping. I hate show jumping. Oh, God. I'd have one of those after every jump.
Before and after.
Yeah.
It's not show jumping, though it would certainly liven it up, I
It
grant
sounds biblical.
I don't
to
think
me.
it's the
Well-
humans, as it's pieces. Wouldn't it be pieces?
Well, I'll tell you that it's a game that went dramatically out of fashion in 1972. Early 72, it was more popular than Monopoly. But by the end of 72, it had almost completely gone out of fashion because of a film.
Mousetrap. Mousetrap.
No, there is no film of
because of a
Mousetrap.
film. Is it Drafts? Remember that film? Drafts.
The film's no...
The truth about drafts.
No.
Drafts makes you go bored. Don't play drafts.
The film is not a game, there's a game in it.
There's a game in
This
the
game is played in it, and it's scary.
Oh, is it a séance?
Yeah,
Ouija
it is a
boards.
seance using a Ouija board.
OK.
And what film has there a Ouija board? The Exorcist is the right answer. One of the
Yeah.
truly great films of the 20th century.
Is a Ouija board really a game? I don't remember ever seeing Ouija board scenes in a film and at the end going, right, who won?
Not dead. Well, the odd thing about Ouija, it was a board, it still belongs to Parker Brothers.
Get out!
Ouija is a proprietary name, it's a trademark.
Is it we-ya?
Interesting point. That is some people's theory of the name of it is, yes, two words for yes, we, the French, and ya, the German, but no one's quite sure about where the name came from, except that it's a game that was invented. The board was invented and it was sold and people played it. I mean, it's weird to say that, but they enjoyed the fact that it nearly always works in as much as, you know, people spell out words and they don't quite know how they're doing it. It's clearly not dead people.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was not originally supposed to be dead people. It was supposed to be that you contacted yourselves, a part of yourselves that automatically wrote. It was not about seances.
Dead people just joined in.
Yeah.
This is good. This is the one for us.
Even when recently asked, only a third of the people who still use Ouija boards say they do it to contact dead people. And in the First World War, it was used to contact your troops abroad, supposedly.
So, hold on. Are some dead people trying to communicate with the living through Monopoly?
Yeah. There was a court case in the 90s, I'm sorry to say, in Britain, a murder case, quite an important one, and the jury had to be dismissed because in their hotel overnight, they used a Ouija board to try and contact the murdered person. And apparently the murdered person said, the guy in the dock is guilty, convict him. And said, but the judge heard about it and dismissed the jury, quite rightly, you may say. But the awful thing was, if they'd done it in the jury room, the judge couldn't have dismissed them. Because the judge has no right in law to know what goes on in a jury room. The deliberations must be private.
Unless he's dead.
Yeah, that's really complicated.
Was the guy guilty?
Unfortunately, he was retried and found guilty, which sort of is really irritating. So maybe the ghost of the murdered person did.
Where's the competitive element?
Suppose you just have a go.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to contact? Right, it's your turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you contact two dead people and then they box.
And then they tell you how it went.
Ghost boxing. Ghost boxing. On Sky Sports 2. Live ghost boxing from Auntie Vera's parlour.
That's it, people in sheets.
Yeah. The headless man, he's already down.
It's just going like that. It's trying to punch you.
Do you know there's an Elvis...
Yeah. There we go. Go on. Hit me. Hit me.
There's an Elvis seance website.
Of course there is. I bet there's more than one of those.
Where you contact Elvis.
Online?
But it cautions, if you wish to repeat this experiment, please be considerate. Many people may wish to contact Elvis, and we're sure he's quite busy. Please treat this information...
For eternity.
Yes, please treat this information the same as you would if he were alive and you had his email address, with respect. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? A sort of posthumous Twitter and things like that. That would be hell, I have to say.
You just thought of that.
Yeah.
You're in it up to your neck.
Oh, God. Horrifying. But the reference in the Bible to the fiery lake or whatever is from Revelations, where it does say those who practice the magic arts will be cast into burning sulphur. So,
How about balloon animals?
ooh, the punishment for people who do balloon animals is not specified in Revelation.
Giraffe.
I think it's loneliness,
I
the
think
punishment for them.
Yeah.
I think it's long nights, sitting alone.
So, yeah, in my youth, games which conjured up the spirits of the dead were a popular gift for children. It's a weird thought. If they didn't like it, they could go to hell. Why are so many great men short?
Are they really?
David, you've hit the nail on the head. Rem acu tetagisti, as they would say in Latin.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
It means nice one, son.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. In fact, Napoleon, people
Napoleon was short, wasn't he?
No, he was above average height.
Everyone was short in those
Wasn't
days.
he?
Well,
he was 5'6", which is taller than
He was
it is
5'7",
now.
actually.
Right.
Average height was about 5'6"-ish.
So it's just the British who decided he was short. Put him down a bit.
Yes, it was particularly a cartoonist called Gilray. When we were at war with Napoleon, there was a famous one of George III with a little Napoleon based on Gulliver's Travels, like that.
Ah.
And he's actually saying, I cannot but conclude you to be one of the most pernicious little odious reptiles that nature ever suffered to crawl upon the surface of the earth. There. That's
It's snappy.
It's a
isn't it?
snappy one. He was 3 inches taller than Nelson, for example. Nelson was 3 inches shorter than Napoleon. It's certainly true that...
Nelson was 5'4".
Yeah.
Like Danny DeVito.
He was very, short chap.
No wonder they put him on such a big
So
column.
is that kind of...
Yes, he's tall in Trafalgar Square.
Is that short man syndrome a kind of retrospective thing, then, that we've kind of invented more recently and then just gone back and said they're all short?
Yeah. Some of them were short, though, there's no question. I mean, Stalin was surprisingly short. He was only 5'5". Mussolini was 5'6". Franco was 5'4".
5'4"?
Yeah.
They are all short, then.
Well, no. He hit the 5'8". Idi Amin was 6'4".
Yeah, big
That's
fella.
my height. Fidel Castro, 6'1". Mao was 5'9", which is rather tall for a Chinese person. So...
But mostly they're not judged on their height, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. But all I'm...
We'll let that go.
Yeah. All I'm saying, there seems to be historically no evidence that short people are more power-hungry, more tyrannical than people of average or tall stature.
Because you know what it came about, though, because it's just that one... It's probably the one thing that short people have got to cling on to. One day they might be a dictator. Well, and we've just taken that away from them.
All this
little hope.
All this not being able to reach things from shells, one day will be made up for when I kill millions of people. And I can stand on their bodies.
Yeah.
Reach the jam.
Yeah, everybody knows somebody short in their life who's been particularly angry and abused his position of authority. And then you decide he's a bit like Hitler.
That's the point. You notice
quite
when a
like
short
Hitler.
man has a tantrum
Yeah.
and says, oh, short man, Napoleon complex. Even
Tall
though-
man has a tantrum, you just leg it.
Exactly. I have to say, I'm rather shocked by this. Heightism does exist. Short people are paid less on average than tall people. The disparity is comparable in magnitude to race and gender. A survey of Fortune 500
They
companies...
should rise up.
Yeah. Hey. The chief executive officers of Fortune 500 companies, 90% are above average height, which is astounding, really. And 30% of those are over 6'2". The tallest 4%.
Every now and again, a little short fella breaks through.
Yeah. Stop.
Gets away.
Yeah, yeah. But it is rather shocking that there is this disparity. And of course, we always notice the powerful, short, rich man with a young, tall wife is
billionaire Bernie.
She's actually, I've seen her with him. She's actually much taller than that, above him.
Yeah, she's bending her knee there.
Yeah. I mean, he has to jump up to slap her on the bum. He could run through her legs.
And who's the couple on the left?
That's Carla Bruni and
Sarkozy. But at least the women have both got handbags that their husbands can fit in, which
No, there isn't really any evidence that dictators are shorter than the rest of us. The Napoleon complex is a bit of a myth, it seems. What tools do you need for do-nothing gardening?
No tools.
You think? It's also called natural gardening or natural farming. It's an Eastern version of our organic farming that has actually spread around the world.
You sort of have to dig with your hands or persuade other animals to do the gardening for you.
Yes, persuade other animals.
So you sort of persuaded a fox who doesn't want a sort of den, but a rockery.
Well, in the case of paddy
get some
fields...
fish in and they desperately try and dig a pond before they die.
Well, fish is right. Well, in paddy fields, where, as I say, it started in the East, they use ducks. Instead of herbicide, they eat the weeds. The throttly things that kill the rice, and they use carp as well that helps purify and keep the water in the paddy fields good. Now, I've got some props for you, which is more connected with the principle of the gentleman gardener, which was a familiar 18th and 19th century pastime to be a gentleman gardener. You can have that or pass it on. There you are, and on your side, you've got props. Isn't it exciting to have props? Physical, actual props. There you are.
I can see where we're going with this.
Yeah. So who's going to go first?
Well, everybody's been given fascinating devices, and I've been given a bottle with the top cut off.
That was designed by George Stephenson of the rocket fame. Was it? The first locomotive, yeah.
And it's to do with the garden?
It is to do with the garden. He was a very keen gardener.
What did he make most money out of? That or the...
I think
the train?
I think the train was a bigger hit.
Right.
But he was a very keen gentleman gardener.
I bet he was really tedious and wouldn't talk about the train in interviews and would insist on talking about his bloody...
I feel you're right.
In many ways, it's the work I'm proudest of. Yeah, but it's crap. It's just a bit of glass with no top.
But
it would protect some
So you've got sunlight, I think, is an important factor here, the sunlight, because you've got glass. And what does glass do? It can magnify, Stephen, can't it?
Yes, it can.
Refraction with it, can't we?
Yeah,
okay.
or refraction.
Refraction, whatever. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's not get bogged down in that.
Yeah, quite.
We're here to talk about gardening.
I'm silly, I'm sorry.
What's
hello. No, not... You found out... No.
It's a saw.
It is. It's for a gentleman gardener.
It's got a concealed serrated blade. You won't get this through customs. I can hijack a plane with one of these. I can't make it work, though. Why wouldn't it go forward? It'll only go that way.
Well, that's how you start the stroke.
That's how you start sawing.
It won't go back again.
Have you ever used a saw?
I don't think it's designed for exercise books.
No, there is that too. David has a point. It's for the gentleman No!
I want to saw something now.
These belong. I just want to say... These have been lent to us by the Garden Museum.
It works, it works.
Oh, it really does!
Oh, my God!
I tell you what, I really wish they hadn't made this set out of asbestos.
Brilliant.
That's a very good invention.
It's for the gentleman who's walking along and he sees an overhanging limb of a tree or overhanging limb of a person, for that matter, and decides to... Oh, no! What have I done? No! That's... Oh.
It's only plastic.
Yeah. And see if you can tidy it away, class. See if you can do that. It's my clever psychology.
Clever, isn't it?
Let's see if you're clever enough to hide that saw. Brilliant.
Well, that was great fun. You got any more?
No, well, David, you've got yours.
Well, yes, I don't know. I mean, it's like...
Yours actually is missing a piece. The Garden Museum, to whom we're very grateful for lending us these incredibly valuable artefacts, this would have had a sort of hat in order to make it like a walking stick, a sort of leathern thing around there.
Oh, so you could hold it like that?
You hold it as a walking stick, and then when you see some obtrusive weeds, you turn it around, and almost like a golf club, you...
Just a little hoe?
Yeah, you just hoe.
Yeah.
A little hoe.
Yeah.
Not in the street sense that's used in the United States and America.
Which is the sense I usually use that syllable in.
Yes, absolutely. So, talking of hoes, Rob.
It doesn't...
Oh, hello.
Sorry, there was a fly landed on my buzzer, and I tried to use my little hoe.
My little hoe. It's a new sort of toy for children, isn't it? So what's your little hoe for?
Well, I've absolutely no idea, other than I think it's something to do with light.
Well, it's not bad. It actually forces a shape. What sort of shape would something in there have to be?
A bottle.
Oh, a vegetable.
It would have to be a straight vegetable, though, wouldn't it?
So,
Is it for cucumbers?
For cucumbers, for growing straight cucumbers.
Points, and I've mended my walking stick.
Yes, points all round for Alan Davis. There you are.
Now that thing up there, though, Stephen, it may well be for cucumbers, but that picture there is very similar to a spam email that I get sent. And I have to say, I'll tell you now, don't waste your money, it doesn't work.
Dara, what have you got?
I am guessing that you put a mixture of seeds in of different sizes, because there are little holes of different sizes, and then if you're the kind of person who knows what size seed you need, then you just sprinkle it.
Here,
In the most
exactly.
effete gardening way imaginable. There you go. And we're in the company of which actual gardens would be going, oh, well done, my lad, that's really top-quality gardening you're doing there.
I'm rather exhausted now. I think I may have to go in and have a cocktail.
I'm having a fit of the vapours from my gardening.
So, do nothing gardening, where we started, is small-scale organic farming with minimal inputs. How can you win money from a casino?
Magnets.
Counting cards.
Prostitution.
Card counting, that's right.
And they can spot that you're doing it. They have people that watch and know that you're doing it.
They do know.
And it was a chap who wrote a book, Ben something, no.
Nevis.
Awfully good.
I interviewed the dude.
And
you interviewed him?
He's a maths teacher at a college and he gets some students.
Was it MIT students, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they went as an experiment, kind of. And he's been banned from casinos.
It's not against the law, and you're not cheating. Actually, all you're doing is playing the game extremely well. Now what happens is that they have this amazing face recognition technology that all the casinos in the world buy into. If you went into a casino in Phoenix, say, and did some card counting, and they said, excuse me, sir, can you leave? They can't really take your winnings away from you. They just make you leave, unless they're criminals. They'll try and beat you up if they really dislike you. And you were to go into one in Macau, flew over the next day, they'd spot you as you came in. Their computers would pick you up. The face recognition say he's a card counter, because they would have been...
They haven't got enough advantages.
I know, but that's the thing. They're just there to make money.
And how do they spot that you're card counting unless you sit there and go, a 7, 5, a jack, bust.
And if you did do that, I want you to go, excuse me, sir, could you... I got a picture one! I got a picture one!
Well, that's maybe the way you disguise it.
Yes. Well, of course, what they do is they do it in teams, and they have very clever ways.
You're doing that. To go out the other end, counting the cards. The perfect...
Yeah.
Well, you're right. That was the system that Ben Campbell, the guy you interviewed... Ben Campbell, remember him?
Yes.
Yes, that's it. That was his system. But oddly enough, they've tried to do it with roulette. How would you do it with roulette?
Count the spins.
You stop it.
Count the ball.
Stop it, stop time.
Ah.
And then you only can move. Everyone else is frozen in time.
Yeah.
And then you get the ball and put it exactly where you want.
Yeah.
And then go, everyone back in the room. You won.
Why not just to help yourself to all the money in the place while you've stopped time?
Because when you eventually you'd have to stop time and bring them back in, and they'd know. They go, something's missing. If you won, they'd go, wow, you've done it again.
I know how you win.
And I'll feel my pants on for it strange.
I know how you win.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? You'd take all the money and you'd fiddle with people.
out. You just got to watch. You don't play one of the tables where the croupier, once he spins it, goes like this with his hand.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
They just go, place your bets, and then he goes...
It seems that the only honest way to win money from a casino is by playing blackjack extremely well and counting, but if you do that, they'll probably kick you out. How many bullets are there in a gunslinger's revolver?
7. 5.
12 stone, 4 ounces.
6.
Well, 6, they're called 6 guns, and they have, as you noticed, 6
But there were
chambers.
6 in and 1 in the spout, isn't that?
No, it's not 6, quite the other way round.
5.
You're right, 5. Why 5?
Gravity.
Well, it's simply safety. Wyatt Earp, who one can be regarded as something as an expert, he said, I've often been asked why 5 shots without reloading were all the top-notch gunfighter ever fired with, 5, when his guns were chambered for 6. The answer is safety. The hammer rested on the empty chamber, so it could never discharge by mistake, because there was no safety catch on that. And there, of course, the great Clint Eastwood. I did a thing in America once, and there was an armourer who's the film guy who gives you the gun and everything and takes it away and keeps you safe and gives you blanks or whatever. And he told me a fact. He'd been doing it since the 30s. He'd been working on westerns. He said only 2 actors he ever worked with, and he worked with them all, didn't blink when they fired a gun. This is actually, oddly enough, a shot of Clint exactly proving he was one of them, because the gun's going off and his eyes are open, as much as they ever were. And he was one. He never blinked. John Wayne blinked, you know, Anthony Quinn, Gary Cooper. Who's the other?
Kenneth Williams.
Carry on, cowboy. Yes, it goes wide open. The idea of those butch American armourers called Rusty and Randy, or whatever, having heard of Kenneth Williams. It was your own guy, Kenneth goddamn Williams. No,
Bravest guy I ever
It was
known.
actually Westworld is probably the Western most people would think of. Yul Brynner, yeah. Yul Brynner never blunk. So anyway, the answer is they have 5 bullets, not 6. How would you use a Monopoly set to escape from a prison camp?
I could see how you might use a buckaroo.
Just fly out over the fence.
I mean, you'd probably just keep ending up on the barbed wire. Again, try it with the bucket.
Is it the old covering up the hole with it?
Well...
Like in Shawshank?
No, there was a man whose nickname was Clutty Hutton, who in Britain bought up lots of Monopoly boards and turned them into escape kits that he then set up through MI9 with these pretend charities.
So that you get a get out of jail free card. That's a very good idea.
It was. No, what was brilliant was
the secret
that hidden in the Monopoly board were incredibly useful things.
A file.
Like a small dog, tiny hat, and a little ship.
There would be real money interspersed with the Monopoly money. There would be maps on silk, because he'd obviously tried it on paper. It's too bulky and rustly, but on silk, on parachute silk, you get an enormous amount of detail and tiny. That's an example of his earlier work, putting a compass in a military tunic button. The Germans got wise to this. They'd unscrew them, eat the buttons, and they'd see it. So then they reversed the thread. So when the Germans unscrewed it, they in fact tightened the button. Then they got wise to that. So then he used razor blades, which were magnetised at one end, so that when they were attached to something metal, they would spin round with the G of Gillette would point north, which was very good. So they were well disguised.
They said, now look, we put the normal thread on.
Yeah.
Old Kraut, he's unscrewing it.
Yeah.
Then what we've done is we've put it the other way. So when he's unscrewing it, he's actually tightening it.
That's right.
Now we've gone a step further. We've done one here. You can't get the top off.
Isn't there a flaw in that, sir?
Don't complicate it. Don't complicate it, Perkins. No one's going to see this bloody compass, that's for sure. Give it a try. You won't get it off.
Oh, very good, sir.
In many ways, it's become what I call a button.
If I was the German camp commandant, I'd have made them all wear duffel coats.
If it was me, if I was in charge, I would have started shipping out giant Jengas.
Would you?
Well, then you just build them up. You know the Jengas you get in pub gardens?
Yes.
Just massive one, just hop over the fence.
Brilliant. If only you'd been in charge then.
Or snakes and ladders, but with actual ladders.
Yes.
And real snakes that scare the Germans. Good British snakes who didn't like the look of a German soldier and would go up to them and go...
What about if they gave them toy tanks, but really big ones? And they could just turn around and go, take this, Jerry.
So, can you tell me what the most successful textbook of all time is?
Is it the one that teaches you what LOL means and LMAO?
It probably is now, lol
yeah.
speak. No, what's our theme for the day?
Geometry.
Oh, it's the
Logarithms.
It's
Not logarithms, no.
not logarithms.
Do you want my eyes? Do you like my eyes?
Stephen, is it logarithms?
No. It's not logarithms, it was a jolly good guess.
Some sort of ancient geometrical textbook
Yes.
written probably by a Greek.
Kites for beginners.
Euclid.
Euclid is the right answer, David Mitchell, absolutely. Euclid's stoichia, Euclid's elements. And these propositions of Euclid are basically all about planes and the conical sections and all the forms of the circle and the square, the provable facts of geometry that are the basis of everything, really, all the physics that came afterwards, all the geometry.
He essentially turned out and said, this is why all the buildings have been falling down.
Yeah, well, there's an element to that, because engineering obviously owed a huge amount to it. Many mathematicians will believe his book is perhaps the most beautiful of all the mathematical books. We're looking at there, I think, one of the earliest editions. What's it say there? The most something philosopher. I can't let you read it.
Yeah, I'm brilliant with Latin. I just
No, it's written in English. The elements. But the names, you're right, the names are written in Greek there.
Yeah, that's what threw me.
Yeah. Elizabeth's court magician, John Dee, Queen Elizabeth I. Have you heard of John Dee? Yeah, he was a very extraordinary man who worked as a spy. Now, there are points here, if you can tell me the cipher he used as a spy.
Did he use invisible ink?
No, he had a particular cipher, his call sign. And a writer many years later, who was extremely learned in the ways of the world, despite being thought of just as a thriller writer, used it for his own
Ian
spy.
Fleming.
Yes, so
007.
007, exactly. It was John Dee's call sign.
I sense points.
You get points. In fact, you will have 7 points.
7 points?
Yeah, very good. Excellent. I could have 700 if you're backwards. That's too much.
I'm
No,
not going to
7.
speak again.